Bro, I'm so confused right now. Am I streaming out of OBS or YouTube?
I believe the world out there is you go.
Bear with me, guys. Appreciate you. JPP, thank you for being here. Hold on, first I just have to get organized. See, shout out Richard Dude and a homie over here. Can you guys hear me all right? How's everything sounding? JPP, thank you for being here. Hold on, first I just have to get organized. See, shout out Richard Dude and a homie over here. Okay. Seems like things are rolling. It's a crazy time, that is for sure. I'm gonna tweet this out real quick. Just been so busy and like, can't believe it's already, I know it sounds stupid, like January 5th, it's like, I don't know, it's like, feels like just hit January 1st. It's like already like 1/5 of the way through the month. Like, I don't know, time just flies. It's crazy. Sounds good. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Getting situated. I really need to get better at like this technical stuff. It's like every time like I go on, like I feel like I have everything ready, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I need this. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, I guess we'll just grab the link here. Captured moments as they happen. See, like there's just so much going on here. Like there's really not, but there is. Alright, let's just start talking. And I can figure out tweeting it at some point throughout this. But first of all, I forgot to put this on because mood for 2023 is look good and feel good. That's the way to go. So, call me the referee because I'm looking official today. So, that's how we roll out here from now on. No, I'm just kidding. I just feel like wearing this jacket because I had to go to something and wear the suit yesterday, so I'm going to get it dry cleaned anyway. So, I'm going to wear it today. I wear it yesterday because why not? Been doing stuff. Oh my goodness, now I'm sitting on my cord here. Oh, I'm not even connected. That's great. Can you see the kind of day I'm having, guys? Okay, getting situated. So this was interesting. Silvergate, I don't know if you guys saw this. They're known as like the quote-unquote Bitcoin bank. Like they really got involved with crypto. They were like a small bank, and essentially they got really involved with it as it grew. And they went from, in 2019, assets under management of like 1 billion to like a cap last year at like 20 billion or something insane. And now, as you can see, this is going on here. There's a lot of crazy things, a lot of things falling out from FTX. I think it's still unwinding, and there's still a lot of ripple effects. I think it's hard to say exactly what's going on, when, and how, and why, right? There's just so many like unknown factors. A lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of this information it just simply isn't reported, right? Or, for example, swaps, they keep delaying the reporting data on that. But as we've seen with Archegos, you can suppress short interest in an equity swap position because it's not being reported. So it's just like there's lots of holes in the system. I think that's very evident at this point. And it all comes down to the fact that with GameStop, at least, all the shares are in the name of Seed & Co. that are in brokerages. And I truly think why the stock price keeps going down is because they just keep using the same shares in Seed & Co. And as they see shares leaving, okay, well, this is all we know how to do. All we can do is keep doing this and just keep shorting it until it gets to the point something breaks. Ryan Cohen comes in, buys a massive amount of shares. A rollover cycle's too much, right? I'm not trying to tell you I exactly know what it is, but I'm just saying, like, crazy things happen, and like they build and they build, and it doesn't really seem like it's building until like all of a sudden, right? So I mean, I'm just feeling good, and I also just feel like I'm more aware than ever about like the psychological games that's going on with the stock price and just everything else. Like, I just feel so like in touch, and that's why I just feel comfortable, honestly. Check out some comments. Let's go. Tetron live stream. Yes, sounding good. Sounds better when you were disconnected. Haha. Damn, bro, that's crazy. I really need a new headset. I really have to get something set up. The only thing is, like, I live with some other people, so I don't want like other sounds coming. If it's here, I gotta hear this. Games that's going on with the stock price and just everything else. I just feel so like maybe more like this. Okay. But yeah, I just wrote down some like notes. Like, honestly, guys, I've just been trying to get caught up in life and just organized, and like I just love the company, so like I absolutely always try and keep up with it. But when I can't like read everything in a single day, like I try to lose sleep over it. Like, I understand my convictions for the long term. You know, I'm gonna miss things in the short term, but as long as I keep reading and just educating myself, hopefully things I do miss I'll always catch up on. But I always do try and keep up with things as much as possible. But having said that, you know, I think keeping up with things is really important for feeling comfortable about your investment. So if you don't keep up, you start to maybe feel uncomfortable, especially if you see the stock price going down. So it's always a good time to do more due diligence. And I also want to take this time to say that you should never, because I've seen some things out there, people are like, oh, I'm behind on my bills, but I'm buying GameStop. Or like this one guy, Nicholas Holden, comments on every single video I make, invest everything you have into GameStop, sell everything, tell all your family, like, come on. Like, you have to be financially responsible. I wanted to say it's very important to never invest more than you can afford to lose, and just feel comfortable with what you're putting in. Because if you're not comfortable with the money at play, then it's like, of course you're going to stress, and you really should not be not paying bills or not have an emergency fund to buy GameStop. You have to, you know, have financial responsibility, because as we've seen, there's volatility and there's going to be whipsaw price action. So if you're not comfortable about where you're at in terms of the size of your investment, things like that, then you're gonna stress. That's kind of just the bottom line. So I think it's really important, and especially now, companies at a 52-week low, you might want to just absolutely load up on shares with everything you got. But number one, short term, how could you really know what's going to happen? And number two, think about the stress and the sleep you're going to lose, right? I'm not saying if you like the stock, don't buy it. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if you like the stock, make sure the capital you're putting in is the proper amount of capital in terms of what's going on in your life and your, I guess I would say, risk level. Like, how much do you deem is enough for an emergency fund? Do you have a family, right? There's like so many different X factors. Like, I'm very fortunate enough to be very young and have a lot of disposable income to be able to invest in GameStop consistently. I'm very, very, very fortunate for that. Yeah, you sound better without it. Damn. If only we knew a good place to get a new headset. If only. I do have a GameStop gift card. You know what? I should literally look right now. Like, headsets. Let's see what they got. You know what's crazy too? I literally bought one. I'm an idiot though. I didn't do research. This was like, also prior to my investment in GameStop. Like, but it was like 2-3 years ago, or maybe it was around when I got in. I don't know. Regardless, point is, like, not even that long ago, I actually got a new headset, and it was nice, and it was like pretty big headphones, and it had a mic, and I just plugged it in, and I kept plugging it in, but the USB piece was so large, and I kept moving it from like different devices, so just the stupid USB piece broke. So like, I can't even use the headset now. It's so annoying. So I got absolutely cheesed on that. So I definitely have to look at the size of like the little thing you plug in, the USB. So maybe a mic like this would be kind of nice. Dude, thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, I have to do research too. Like, these just, I don't know anything about headsets, honestly. Like, I'm really not familiar. I just want something that's, you know, good quality. Like, I don't want to spend a gazillion dollars, but I'm not going to be cheap. Like, I want to get something that's quality, because obviously, like, this ain't cutting it, and this is just like a pretty standard headset. What is it, like, streaming headset? Is that the thing? Is there like a category for that? Nope. No, it's not quite my style here, guys. Can't say it is. Twitter. I want to show a couple things on there in a little bit. Sick. Release the release the files. This was funny how Whoosh did this. Release the GameStop files, 95.4%. Yes, 20,000 votes. Oh my gosh, I did not realize it got that many. That's crazy. But it's so crazy. Okay. YouTube Tetron. That's me. There we go. I did not realize it got that many. That's crazy. Tweeting. Jeremy, if you're here, when do you think there'll be the next run up? Honestly, like, part of me thinks it's like this month or the next, right? Like, and reason being is number one, right? Wait, first let me make sure this looks good. One thing at a time here. That's not the cleanest look. I'm clowning today. Absolute clown today I am. The cleanest look. Share. Do. Absolute clown today I am. Okay. So, there we go. There we go. The tweet is out. And oh my gosh, this guy Grant Cardone, he's an absolute clown. Since I'm just seeing him pop up here, I want to bring that up. This is the absolute clown show right here, right? But whatever. So, okay. So, there's my train of thought. We can talk about the stock price first, right? So, the stock price, obviously, evidently continues to decline. But if you look at just like a 1 month chart, right? And also this tokenized stock, right? Still trading. Still like, what really is going on here? This was created like January of 2021, right? Okay. And so it's just interesting timing and the way it just trades, right? Like it's just weird. Talk about the stock price. It's just weird, right? I think there's still more to be determined from this. Stock price. Like, obviously, the stock dividend rate obviously dropped off here, then it's just like a 1 with it, but it's like, and also this. What is this really? Why was this created in January of 2021? What is going on here? This was created for the next run up, right? Which I was going to mention on, and how this fellow over here, Jeremy, had commented saying when next run up is. I would say January or February, but of course I'm just completely like speculating here, completely guessing. But reason being is when January of 2021 happened, the farthest option chain that you could play with was January of 2023. We're now in January of 2023. So being that we're in January of 2023, I think a lot of those options are going to come due. So a lot of obligations potentially could need to be met in the near future. And it also becomes a question of what else is going on in the video that you could play with was January. Oh, my producer came to tell me. We're now in January of 2023. So being that oh my god. Thank you guys. I'm an absolute disaster. Oh my god. I love you guys for being here. Okay. Buddy was calling me too to let me know. Thank you. Okay. Playing your own video in the background. Yes, I'm a bozo. My bad. Thank you guys. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Eric. JPP. Okay, so going back, let's get back on track here. Are we sure those swaps expire end of this month? I thought swaps could be used up to 5 years. So I'm definitely not certain they expire at the end of this month in any way, but I just think something's going on in the options chain for January 2023, whereas the whole mentality in January 2021 was create meme stocks, right? They're all the same play, just a quick trade, everybody's going to get in and out, it'll be done for. Who would have thought at that time that this would be going on now, all these, like, literally years later, like 2 full years later? So I would think a lot was done with January of 2022's options chain and January of 2023 considering you can use options in a lot of different ways with the powers that market makers have. How exactly they're using them, I couldn't tell you, but I think there's a variety of different ways and a variety of different loopholes they're using, simply because all the shares are in the name of Seed & Co., right? Like, Seed & Co. is every single share in every single brokerage. So long as there's shares in the name of, any shares in the name of Seed & Co., right? Or like, even just a good amount, a lot of these same cycles kind of happen, because if you think, like, look at the cost to borrow, right? Like, why would it be that high? Why would it be so high and nobody even, like, bats an eye at it? Just like, oh yeah, we'll just keep shorting anyway. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Why would anybody short the stock with the current cost to borrow? Utilization's constantly at 100. What would the interest, like, why would you want to short this stock unless you had to? That's just kind of how I look at it. It's like, even if you don't believe in the company, you think everything's bogus, DRS is undeniable, number one. And number two, the cost to borrow is ridiculous. It's extremely hard to come by shares. So it just doesn't make sense. So why would it keep being shorted unless there was reason, or they kind of had to? That's what it kind of seems like. It's just like all they ironically can do is just keep shorting it to keep it suppressed. And then this I want to talk about here in a minute. Loop Capital Markets. Remember that guy? Chupchunga, whatever his name is? Chachunga? Anthony Chachunga? I don't even know what the heck his name is. He's an absolute clown. He loves bashing Ryan Cohen, right? Loop Capital Markets, LLC. New participant in the netting system of the Government Securities Division of FICC. And on Twitter here, I was going to go over to 741 Trey. Shout out to him. Posted how Loop Capital helped take HKD public. And sure enough, look at HKD stock today. Look at this. Absolute garbage. Cash flow positive. Yes, sir. Look at this. Up 200% today. On what news? What news? Let's see what BS reasons they come up with. And look at the 52-week high. Like, it's just crazy. And, like, look at last time this happened. I mean, stock really hasn't ran, right, in a major way since the stock ran last. So if this keeps running, could something interesting happen? We had a little fake out here. But the question is, like, what exactly is this? It's just some random Chinese company. Why would it go up like this in stock price? And they said, oh, it's a meme trade. No, this is a market maker trade. This is a hedge fund trade. I don't know who's moving this price or why, but it's very, very shady if you ask me. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's so hard to even, like, put these things together, but it's like there's so much corruption and just shady things, like, all over the place in so many different ways, but it's so hard to put it together because there's just such lack of data, such, like, lack of transparency. It's just so difficult to really, like, put, like, any concrete evidence together that this is being pumped in some way, right, or used to provide liquidity. But, like, if you look at some of the stuff here on Loop Capital, okay, yeah, it's the same thing right here. I gotta go to Trey on here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, speaking of Loop Capital, where is Anthony, what's his name? Chakumba. Anthony Chakumba, the master stock analyst, is no longer listed on their website. I wonder if there's anything to do with the cease and desist order Loop received from the SEC in November. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. There was a cease and desist order on Loop Capital that was issued in November by the SEC. And suddenly he's just gone. Like, that is really funny. That is actually really funny. And this is the tweet I was talking about where I saw this and I was like, huh, that is interesting. They're being added to this list, right? Suddenly the stock starts running again. And Loop Capital Markets participates as joint book runner in an initial public offering of AMTD International. F Wall Street. And just the replies are so funny. Oy vey. Chinese IPO is restricted. There are 99 Chinese dumps like 6 months ago, and the government stopped that. Cheed. Guess it doesn't matter if you have Loop Capital. The payment for order flows on your side. Let's see. Worked at Citadel after overseas. He's the go-to contact for HKD. Huh. Would you look at that? That's interesting. This picture is just funny. He just looks like shook. I am untethered. My rage knows no bounds. My time's to the halt today. LOL. It's just crazy, and it just like this name. Like we all know now this name HKD, but like I literally don't know what the company does. I literally have no idea, but I know HKD. When I see it, I'm like, I remember that name. That's out there. Something's going on with it. Like it's just crazy. Retail literally can't trade AMTD, I thought, but it's meme traders pumping it. Yeah, exactly. I literally thought, like, I haven't even tried, but I'm assuming, like, probably people can't. And the whole thing is, too, it's like a spin-off of another Chinese, like, sus IPO. Like, it's just so bizarre, right? Like, the things that go on. And I wanted to make an example of this the other day, but the opportunity passed by. I was too busy, and I don't even remember the name. But there's a stock, and it happens, like, every day. Where you ever see a company, just some news comes out, right? Like a pharmaceutical company has a big breakthrough with a drug of some kind, right? And the stock price will be up like a couple 100% in the day. And you look at the volume, and it's so far outpacing the shares outstanding. It's like insane. Like I understand people are trading it, and if it's the active trade of the day, there's big news. A lot of shares are going to trade hands. But like, what about T+2 or like T+? Like, how about settlement? And market makers don't have to settle trades in any way. They could just keep pushing it back and forth, because all shares are in the name of Seed & Co. And I'm not saying that the shares shouldn't maybe trade hands in the same day, but it should be kept track of, because you could just infinitely trade shares if they're in the name of Seed & Co. And this is a post that I came across on, but I wanted to read it. Or like I saw somebody got tagged it on Twitter, so I did want to check it out. So maybe I'll go through this in a few minutes. I'd sure love a pump back to $30. I don't think so, though. The hype is all gone. Need a cloudless Cohen got to load up or something. Well, honestly, Nate, I think they said, $30 is the parabolic number, right? So it's kind of like a number people have in their head and whatnot. But I could see Ryan Cohen buying shares at this point, right? I mean, we saw him buy shares again when it was higher than this in his second buy. His first buy was lower than the current price, and that was obviously pre-January sneeze. This was December of 2020. Then he bought some more shares. And since then, he hasn't, and that was March, right? March of 2022? Yeah, March of 2022. It's been about 9 months. Stock price is lower, so could buy more shares, but inevitably, I just keep a long-term viewpoint, and I'm not caught up in the short term. If there is more downfalls in the short term, I just look at it as an opportunity to buy more. So I keep my long-term vision, afford what I can afford to invest, and that's it. Scary because I am at even, but I don't care. I got 50K shares, and I know I'm gonna rip, baby. I think at least, that's probably why you're here. You kind of think the same thing, but it's one of those things, like, nothing can really be said in the short term. Like, who knows really what's gonna happen in the short term, guys? Like, that really is the truth, and the beauty in, budgeting yourself, and just what I've found, at least, through this whole saga is, especially coming out of college, like, how to just better myself, try and organize myself, like budgeting, right? Like, okay, this amount could be to stocks, this amount I have to put towards this, okay, this I'm going to use for my free time, right? Things like that you have to do, and I think that allows you to say, okay, well, now every time I'm paid, I can buy one share of GameStop, right? Even if that's all you could do, like, you're buying consistently, so you don't have to get so caught up in the price action, because you're just keeping a long-term viewpoint, and you're like, okay, well, there's still a discount, I like this for the long term, so I'll just consistently buy. And that's kind of the mentality I've developed. Of course, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I truly think everybody's an individual, should make their own individual decisions that are best for them. But for me, what I've found is just being consistent, slow buying. And then anytime there's been a price cycle up, I'm like, okay, I'll just stop buying for a little bit. Things start to kind of come down. I'm like, okay, I think this is a fair deal. I like the stock. I'm going to buy. Will GameStop get into artificial intelligence, or will strictly be e-commerce and gaming? Artificial intelligence, that would be interesting. What I low-key really think they're going to get involved in one way or another, I don't know exactly how, maybe not necessarily like a team, but I feel like esports would be right up their alley. Like, that seems like something that would make sense. Like, maybe not GameStop having a team, maybe they sponsor a team, they partner with the team to use GameStop-specific merchandise, right? I don't know exactly, but I would think esports would be a great way to get involved, right, in another way, another arm of their business, because obviously they want to keep the core, like, gaming concept, but and retail is like their OG thing, and now they're developing into Web3. But I would imagine they probably want to go even a step further, maybe do like esports, and I'm sure there's other possibilities I can't think of off the top of my head, because honestly guys, I'm just so tired. I'm so tired, but I had to do the stream. I really want to make sure like I keep doing streams, so I was like so tired of no, I have to do the stream tonight. We got to do this. But I just think there is definitely other opportunities, and with other companies' valuations coming down, there's definitely opportunity for acquisition. I definitely think that's very possible in the short term, but the question is what acquisitions, and I think with Ryan Cohen on board, leading the charge of things, and the rest of management, which I believe in, I think they'll make the right decision and they'll make the right call to say, okay, well, we think this is a great deal, a great acquisition opportunity. They're not just going to throw money at everything, because they've had a lot of cash for a long time and they haven't bought anything, and now valuations are coming down. And GameStop now sits in a position where literally 20% of its market cap is in cash, which is just crazy. Swagman says swag. What do you think of CNS, ISDA, and Phase 6? Do you think they're using those to prolong the squeeze? Honestly, I'm not that familiar with those. Let me look at them real quick. Cohen steers. Huh, that's funny. DFV quadrupled down at 150. If he's in, I'm still in. Tiny Vista, they're doing anything and everything to prolong squeeze. They're almost out of ammo. I'd love to see GME do huge land centers. That'd be kind of lit. Some kind of like thing that people can meet up. I think they would have to figure out a way that that's economically possible for them, and it would make sense with everything they're doing. But just the concept of it sounds cool. But in terms of using this to prolong the squeeze, honestly, I'm not sure. I've never really looked at these, but I think it's definitely possible. There's swaps going on, right? Like there's just things that can't be explained, right? Like something that I haven't been able to wrap my head around from the beginning, right? Like look at Berkshire A dark pooled. This is like very strange, and I haven't looked at this in a while, so let's see the same. Okay, look how much percentage of Berkshire A is off exchange, right? Look at what the percentage of volume is. It's pretty nuts, right? Compared to the rest of them. Why would you have to put Berkshire A off exchange? Like, I guess because it's such large trades, and typically very large trades would be negotiated off exchange, right? So it doesn't dramatically move the market. But if you notice something interesting, how do I go back further? Touchscreen, that didn't work. I want to see further back. Exchange volume. Oh, okay. There we go. See, I don't know what happened here, but look at this. Since January, or right after January of 2021, right? January sneeze happens right here, right? Suddenly, right after, look how much the white line right here is off exchange, right? The yellow is the stock price. Everything else is all the other exchanges. Look how majority was always the New York Stock Exchange. It was always, well, I guess not. Look back here, but this is back in 2019. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yes, no, the yellow line is price action. This is price action. Yeah, look, it was always, if anything, like jumbled, but never has so much of it been off exchange. Look at this. Off exchange. Off exchange. Constantly, this whole time. What is going on with Berkshire A? I saw this a long time ago, and it's been in my head low-key ever since. Why would Berkshire A have so much of the volume every single day off exchange? Like, it's just weird. And only very big institutions own this, obviously, right? Like, the change happens right here. New York Stock Exchange volume falls off a cliff, stays off a cliff. And you see a spike here. Then you see, okay, this was, I'm pretty sure, 923, we had a spike in GameStop coordinated with that. It's a little interesting that like more of the volume for that stock, Berkshire that is, just suddenly becomes like off exchange. Like what? And this is September last year. No, maybe it doesn't line up exactly. Okay, so I'm trying to see if there's like anything maybe particular, like see 9/21/23. or sorry, 9/22/21. See, did something happen here? See, around the same, that's interesting. September, the same few days, right around the same time. Slight fall off in off exchange. But like, look at more recently, it seems like literally they're putting as much of it off exchange as they can. But why? Why Berkshire A, and why since January of 2021? I don't know if anyone has any theories on that, but that is just something really interesting I noticed and I wanted to low-key bring up again. Kingsbury says, prayer and a heart. Love you too, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for streaming. Great discussions. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I don't think you're a dumb ape. You don't have to put that as your name. I think you're a good person, you know. You're just an individual who likes to look at stocks. But it's hard to stream, guys. Not gonna lie. Sometimes it's tough, and like I'm just so exhausted right now. It's just like I don't know why. Like there's just been so much going on. Like I mean, I do know why. There's been so much going on in my life, and just I mean, I don't want to be like I'm not trying to complain. Like everybody has a lot of stuff going on in their life. So, and this is what I want to do. So I'm here. But if I'm kind of like a little all over the place, guys, like I apologize today. Like I just feel like my mind's just racing. So just trying to brick by brick, you know, step by step. But pull up the rest of my notes. And this is literally what I do throughout the day, guys. I just scribble notes at my job of things that pop in my head about GameStop. I'm like, I could talk about this later. Because I used to have all these thoughts. And I would always be like, oh, wait, what was that great idea I had? Or, oh, I wanted to talk about this thing. Or, oh, or that. And then I remember it. By the point, it's like, the moment has passed, or like it's not the hot topic of discussion anymore. So I try and just like write things down now, take notes throughout the day, just literally whatever's on my mind. And I found that really helps me just in general, even if I'm not like researching GameStop, if I'm just writing notes at my job or just things I need to get done around the house. I found that, you know, just writing things down and having it written in front of you makes yourself kind of self-accountable, and also just physically writing it, I feel like kind of makes your brain like, okay, I'm writing this, like I'm gonna do it, right? So I don't know, maybe that's just me. But also what I'm trying to get at here is I heard this once, and I don't know exactly where I heard it, but it made a lot of sense to me. It's like the brain is meant to come up with ideas more so than like retain information. Because think about how many random thoughts or ideas you have throughout the day. Tons and tons, right? But how many of those do you really remember? So that's what I really like to just have, like a notepad next to me. Like even if it's just like this yellow paper, I'm like whatever's on my mind. Like as you can see, it's not like super neat, you know. I just like put random stuff on there, random thoughts. I don't even know if I'm gonna touch on everything on this piece of paper, but like, hey, at least it's here, you know. Can you look at GME Dark Pool? Do you have a regular job? I'm a personal trainer. Yes, I work in IRA transfers. So I work for like actually non-DTC custodian. So basically, I do the transfers. So if you're transferring into my company, like I'll go request the money from whatever other company you're coming from, like let's say Charles Schwab, Fidelity, and then we give you the opportunity to do basically, it's called self-directed IRA, where you basically do private assets instead of like publicly traded assets, and we have like custodial fees, so it's a little bit different. But basically, financial services, I work in like private asset transfers and cash transfers. And can I look at GME Dark Pool? Sure, let's pull that up. Let's see what spiciness is going on there. Berkshire A is probably used as a swap for GME and probably used as collateral. I think so, Morgan. It would make sense because I forgot where I saw this also. This is the thing too. I should write down where I see things sometimes, right? Because Berkshire A, like I don't know where was the, or no. Okay. Warren Buffett has always been willing to lend out his stock. I don't know where exactly I saw this, but I've read about him and I understand this too. He doesn't, why would he not want to lend out his stock? He owns it, and he's like, okay, if you want to borrow it in some way and pay me the cost to borrow, I have no problem lending it out. So is tons of Berkshire being borrowed in some way to be put into a swap or to be used as collateral? I don't exactly know, or is it just directly in the swap? Like, it's just, there's so many questions. But I do think it has something to do with GameStop because Ryan Cohen, sorry, not Ryan Cohen, oh my goodness, mixing up legends, right? Warren Buffett has always been fine with loaning out his stock, right? So it would, if you were a market maker and you needed a company with absolutely massive market cap, right, and massive in terms of size, like, and somebody who's willing to loan out the shares and just that's just going to hold them, which is Berkshire A, like I don't know, it just makes sense. And like I feel like I'm not saying exactly the right way, but like something's definitely going on there. Write that down, Patrick. Write that down. Yes, that's one of my favorite memes. This is really interesting. HKD, I definitely want to watch this within the next few days. Like, I'm really interested what it's going to do. All right, so yeah, I said in the beginning, mood for 2023. I'll say it again. Look good, feel good. All right, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Don't just not pay your rent and invest in GameStop. Please make sure you do what's best for you and make yourself comfortable. You don't want to be stressing. Stressing at night is not fun. Everybody stresses about things, right? I'm not saying I'm perfect at all. I stress about so many different things. Everybody knows me. I'm like, but I think I have it together somewhat, or I'd like to think so. So don't feel like you have to have it all together, but think if I just put all my money into GameStop, of course I'm gonna lose sleep. So don't overdo it. And you don't truly know when the bottom is ever. So you might think, oh my gosh, 52-week low, I have to go all in. Do you know it's the bottom? You don't. I don't. Nobody knows, right? But I'm not saying if you like the stock, I like the stock. Tetron's saying don't invest. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm never telling you what to do anyway. But I'm just saying, do what makes you comfortable. You want to feel comfortable with your investments. You don't want to be losing sleep at night you've put in more than you can afford to lose. Because I absolutely believe in GameStop more than anything in this entire world, more than anything I ever have. But if you think just mathematically, that absolute small fractional chance this doesn't play out the way I believe it will, then I would move on, right? I would survive. I would live on. I would be okay. I wouldn't be crushed. My life wouldn't be over. I wouldn't be ruined. I'm very fortunate to have my job, especially in this world we're in now, and I've seen a lot of layoffs out there. But my point is, beyond that, I've set some money aside. I'm trying to, just work towards some things in my life and just organize money is what I'm trying to say. That's kind of what this whole saga has taught me about, is because you don't want to just blindly go into something just for the quick money, right? You want to be in something because you see the long-term potential before the big majority of people do. And mark my words, FOMO will come back. I don't know when, I don't know exactly how, I don't know what it'll look like, but FOMO will come again. And you're going to think to yourself, I'm going to think to myself, you can do whatever you want. I don't need to buy shares right now. I've been loading up while everyone was calling me a clown and saying why are you in this GameStop thing, right? And speaking of my job though, everybody literally knows me as the GameStop guy. They literally I think they all think I'm a little crazy, to be honest with you. I do think they think I'm a little wacky. They're like, who is this 22-year-old dude that since day one of working here, he will not stop talking about GameStop? I literally tell them, just wait and see. I just say, just see. I'm just telling you to watch it. I'm just telling you what Seed & Co. is. Seed & Co. is a very bizarre thing. You've never even heard of it, but it owns every share in every single brokerage. It's a giant circus. And that kind of leads me to something else I want to quickly say. It's funny how when you tell people, I don't know about you guys, but people I've told this, they'll say oh yeah, it's a conspiracy, this or that, but they'll just immediately dismiss it as definitely not possible. But they won't even take 2 seconds to Google what is Seed & Co. Just look up what Seed & Co. is. So I was trying to find some old court cases. Seed & Co. Nominee for Depository Trust Company, a large clearinghouse that holds shares in the name of its banks, brokers, and institutions. It's what? Seed & Co. is shorthanded for Certificate Depositories, a specialist United States financial institution that processes transfers of stock certificates on behalf of Depository Trust Company, aka every single share in every single brokerage. But people would rather say, nope, this isn't happening, Seed & Co., whatever, it's conspiracy, this and that. Simple search, you can figure out what Seed & Co. is, learn what the DTC is, and then begin going down the rabbit hole and just begin to see a lot of different things going on. That's truthfully what it is. Preacher bro, represent. You're What a day. What a day, what a week, what a time to be alive. Let's see what else we got here. Important point. Volatility goes both ways, right? Look at this. 1 month, the stock can drop, $8? Easily go back up that much in 1 month. And just anything, this was something that was told to me a long time ago from when I first started investing. Anything that can go up, my grandpa actually told me, he said, anything can go up this fast can come down just as fast, so be careful. And that was during a bull market. And he's like, in a bear market, just remember, anything going down that fast can start going up just as fast. So pretty much volatility goes both ways. When you see limited volume move the stock significantly, right? Again, today, the stock price, right, hits its low around here and never really goes lower. But if you look at it, Majority of the volume's here, and a good chunk of it's here. So all I'm saying is like they didn't even use a lot. It didn't even take a lot of volume to push the stock price down this much. So it wouldn't even take a lot of volume to push the stock price up as much. And I truly think that really is the result of DRS. Reason is because stocks are supply and demand, right? And when you have Seed & Co., who's essentially just issuing endless supply, and then the demand doesn't matter right now, but if you have constant like removing of that supply into the name of individuals booking shares to their name, right, away from Seed & Co., now all of a sudden that infinite supply isn't just infinite anymore, right? And then institutions, right, are going to actually need those shares, which, by the way, I think institutional ownership will go down this next quarter. That's my theory as to how the stock price is falling. And I think DRS numbers will be up again. So the nonsense continues. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. It's true. It's true. And I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm already getting burnt out. I think I only got like a little bit more in me. And I feel like I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to like make an excuse, but I just feel like if I'm not going to give like a high quality stream, like I shouldn't just go on and on and on, you know? So I kind of want to just get to a few more things, and then I'm going to try and stream. I got to get a stream in either tomorrow or Sunday. Tomorrow or Sunday is going to be one of the days, maybe Saturday afternoon. I don't know. I got to make it work. You can always stay tuned with me on Twitter. That's where I'm always kind of announcing right now about my streams and stuff. That's kind of been my main point or main place for that. And shout out to Marantz. He's such a homie. He's put me on so much. Like, he's shouted me out in so many different of his streams and just been a great guy to me. And I'm just a young individual, just likes the stock, and I'm just sharing my thoughts. So for all of you to be here and just even listen to me, like, I really, really do appreciate it. Like, I can't say it enough. And I know, like, I'm not perfect, and sometimes I feel like maybe I repeat myself, or like I'm like rambling a little, but like I really like my goal in all of this is really just make people think. I just feel like so many people don't think, or just don't like create ideas. Like just it's just how it is, or just yep, like yeah, it's just yep, and then just become miserable. You just have to think. You have to think, be a critical thinker. Like I just think that's so important, and that's why I created this channel in the first place, and just kind of wanted to do this whole YouTube thing. Like I want to make people think, because yeah, I don't know. I just always thought when I watched other like YouTubers that did finance, and I was just like, why not like always saying, oh this or oh that or oh this is gonna do this. Why not just like go out there and just talk and like build discussion and have people like create ideas? Like that's just always kind of what I thought of as like a good YouTube channel. So that's, I'm like, all right, that's how I'm gonna do this. And that's how I like what Marantz does. He's absolutely exposed so much on AMC and Ape and Mudrick, everything going on there. He's calling it all out, man. He's calling it all out. He's spitting the facts, and people get so butthurt and like trying, like, I don't want to say cancel him, but like you're deleting him from Twitter. And it's like all he's doing is spitting facts. Why is the truth so scary? Yo, like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's all good, dude. You gave off great energy despite having work today. I've streamed. It's very demanding. It is, man. No, I mean, just like, not that I'm like putting like obviously I'm putting more time into my full-time job than this, but not for nothing, I definitely put time in this. And it's just, yeah, I want to like make it the best I can, but like also like make sure I'm working hard every day in my actual job, but make sure I put in the extra time, but make sure I'm not like too tired to the point I'll do my actual job and like forget about my personal responsibilities, forget about my girlfriend and friends, so really as a young individual right now, something I'm really, really working on for 2023 is just organizing myself and just taking a step back, things step by step. Organization, it just makes everything so much easier. So thank you all for being here. What do you think about all the links with FTX and digital securities? I'm not sure what to think, to be quite honest with you, because it's just very shady. It's all very, 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 very shady, right? This won't load for some reason, but it's undoubtedly something strange. That's my standpoint on it. You can't tell me that the tokenized GameStop stock just so happened to be created the day before the buy button is removed. Like, there's just no freaking way. There's absolutely no way. Like, that just seems, like, look at this. Look at when it came live. Why? Why that day? But, like, actually, I should go into this post here. This is what somebody had put. The other personalities kept popping up. This person was wrapped everything, wrapped GME, wrapped nickel, and everything in between, even with Binance, blah, blah, blah. This address, okay, who is this? Okay. Again, I'm just quickly scrolling through this. I encourage you to look at this post more in depthly if you want to research it more. I haven't even read it fully myself yet. I'm just quickly going through it here. Okay, now it's been established that this address, and again, I'm just reading what this individual put out there. I haven't even checked any of this. I'm strictly saying what they're saying. I'm not saying I agree with it. I believe it even. I don't know anything. I'm just reading it. I searched the second address to see if I could find a little bit more about them. Narcissist, gonna be narcissist. Turns out Peninsula's is a pretty big name in crypto, though he keeps trying to keep identities a bit separate. In my search, I was sent a link by a source with a possible Twitter handle of this person. Upon searching for the handle, it starts to come to focus. First article describing crypto whale Tetron archived link. So, this is a site, the bank. Oh, this is frying my brain right now. I have to read this way more in depth. Let's just get to kind of what the point is here. There are a lot of trouble to get the names of the coins removed that he holds. These are a problem because a picture starts to develop going through the coins manually. Not only does what is that? Penalist? I don't know. Own these, but in almost every case I found, FTX Alameda also holds them, and many other SCXs or CEXs. I haven't gone through them all, but here are 30 that I found manually along with the name of the coin associated. Remember last year, I was trying to point out that wrapped GameStop got called shill. We included all those companies' songs came out and got called fake. Peppermint Farmers say hello to their reintroduction. Oh, see, somebody, I have to look at this. How is there a CryptoPunks one? It's so weird. This world's so weird. There's so many complex things. Take a look through those. You'll find time and again, FTX Alameda with almost every major CEX out there. My question is, what are they trying to do with these? Are they planning to front run the entire metaverse? Someone else will have to try and get that answer. I tried copying Tetron before Christmas, all the information that I had. They've been blocked. That's interesting. I mean, this is a lot here. I gotta dig into this more. It's Tetron. Whale to watch. Such a misfit medical student who failed to make it through med school. He worked in Basel last 7 years, late 2000s, where he regularly went to work late and slept in his car during lunch breaks because he was always up late playing video games. Okay, not responsible. Tetron sounds kind of like Sam Bankman-Fried, except Sam Bankman-Fried decided to play League of Legends literally during the meetings. Like, freaking crazy. Where did all the Radeon 587 graphics cards go? They were so expensive. This question led him to Bitcoin. He learned what Bitcoin initial observation was. Sort of virtual money that needs a lot of graphics processing power. Okay, I'm not going to read all this, but this dude seems weird. And sus, if he wants to have this whole Tetron, he's like one of those anonymous crypto guys, like, so strange. Tetron node? Oh shoot, that goes on. Anthony G. Hi. Last time I watched, we were playing Mario Slugfest. Yes, yo, Mario Super Sluggers. I gotta play that again soon. I love that game. That game is so awesome, man. That game is top tier. Best Wii game of all time. It's so fun to play with your friends. Like, when you have them over, and if you have a Wii, it's just such a good time to have beers and play Mario Sluggers, like 2v2. It's so fun. Or even just 1v1. Great time. I'll definitely stream that again. Stay tuned. Maybe next week sometime after a GameStop stream, because that game's a lot of fun. Oh my god, is this still echoing? I'm such an idiot. Best Wii game of all time. It's so fun to play with your friends. Like, when you have them over, and if you have a Wii, it's just such a good time to have beers. Alright, you know what? Just go no headset. It honestly sounds better. And I'm almost done here. I just think it's funny too. This is the only thing that comes up for streaming headset. New year, new deal. Shop more of what you love for less. And truly, guys, I know people have said it, and I've definitely said it, and I'll keep saying it. Shop GameStop when you can. Why would you not shop at the company you're invested in if you believe in it? And even though Amazon might be, oh, it's going to get there the next day, but you want to support Amazon? Like, look at Amazon and everything that's gone on with it. Like, I don't know. I would just rather support GameStop. That's just me. New Year's, new deals. Good now. Hey. What's up, Brett? How are you? It's Tetron, Pokemon, Tetronider. Dude, it's Tetronode is like the first one, and then Tetronider is like the evolved form or something like that. Oh, man. Question is, what's going to happen with the January 2023 options? Like, what will... Probably nothing, but like, what was in those? What were they used for? Why is there such massive open interest in like such low strikes for the puts, right? So many questions to be answered. But I want to say two final things here as I'm kind of starting to wrap this up. Well, I guess three. One, shop GameStop. It's a great company. If you're invested in it and you want to buy something anyway, you might as well buy it from the company you're invested in, right? Support them in any way you can. And number two, let everyone laugh at you that doesn't believe in GameStop, right? I'm sure people who know your investors saying, like, oh, what's going on with GameStop? Some people say to me, like, oh, what's going on with GameStop? I've seen it hit a new 52-week low. I'm like, you don't know what's going on with GameStop. It's not about the stock price. It's so much more, and it's literally like C & Co. is a giant black hole in our system. And beyond that, there's so much more going on with GameStop, and just on the surface of like, oh, the stock price is going down. It's just bad, right? What's going on? Like, people just say that. I'm just like, you're just looking at stock price. There's so much more going on. The dumb stormtroopers of the galaxies. More shares under 17. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Pro member. I am also a pro member. DRS GME book. That's what I do personally. And then the final thing that I want to say, you know, the whole meme stocks, they're the same play, right? Type of thing. It's all a giant psyop to me from day one. I've kind of been saying that, and I'll say it once more here. Whereas, like, the kind of final point is that maybe, just maybe, right? They are actually shorting the crap out of AMC, the crap out of Bed Bath, right? To the point it's almost bankrupt now, they're saying, and some of these other, like, basket stocks, right? Whatever you want to call it. But number one, they're not actually good companies, whereas I would personally say GameStop is by far the best out of those couple I just named, or any of the basket stocks. Like, I believe in just GameStop personally. But if it's not a good company, you know, you could short it a lot because that company will have to dilute, and you probably could make a profit on the short sales, I'm kind of saying. But inevitably, if they do cover those positions, they'll be going up at the same time as GameStop, so then they can recycle they're the same play. Look, they're all squeezing. We've always said it's the meme stocks, it's the meme basket, this and that, right? So I think it's so forced, the correlations. Like, even if, and also you can look at data and people will say, like, when GameStop cost to borrow is going up, I'll see like AMC garbage posts like, look, AMC's cost to borrow is rising. That just makes me think like they'll purposely short like AMC very heavily that specific day or time period because they have to just like make it seem like they're all being shorted together, right? They're all shorted. It's all this. It's all that. They, the same play. I hold both, right? It's all psychological. Waiting for a catalyst for GME. I'm hoping, waiting. I think Ryan Cohen buying shares, that'd be a fantastic catalyst. I think if the company did make an acquisition, I think it'd be, I don't know if I want to say it's a catalyst, because a lot of times when you look at companies who actually do a buyout, like if they're the one performing the buyout, their stock price tends to go down as a result of it, right? In the short term, because the uncertainty of like what the acquisition will do for the business. But in GameStop's case, I could see it going up because a lot of people would be very excited by it. It might be an opportunity where they're buying something extremely discounted. I would low-key think, though, what they're going to ultimately acquire, and if they do acquire anything, it's going to be something under $250 million, right? Because their balance sheet has $1 billion in cash. I would imagine they want to keep majority of it still in cash for one, potential other future opportunities, two, potential other downfalls, right? In the short term with the economy as a whole, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. So I think that's possible, right? And I think they might want to go after some kind of private asset, right? Or small company that's not public, that's maybe specifically like computer parts, gaming headset specifically, right? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying like the most random things. But point is, like, I think whatever they do, they're going to be very cautious with the amount of capital they spend and make sure that it absolutely is good and great for the business, right? In terms of what it will cost them
opportunity cost, right? What they could have maybe acquired instead, and just overall maintaining the balance sheet's strength. Okay, hell nah, GME only. Yes, sir. I do see GME MOS before June 2023, especially with DSR rates, or DRS rates, I'm sure you meant. But I think we are going to see a massive jump in DRS. I think it's just a lot of people like the stock. A lot of people are registering shares, especially with the stock price low for an extended period of time. I mean, I don't know how big the jump will be. It's kind of hard to say, right? Because with the last quarter, we only saw a 500K increase, and there's lots of reasons that could have been. Maybe it was manipulated in some way, right? But regardless, it did still go up, and I think individuals still like the stock, kept buying it, are going to register more shares. And don't forget, Ryan Cohen could still buy more shares. And you'd have to think, like, he's at least thinking about it right now, right? He bought higher than this when he bought back in. When he said, I put my money where my mouth is, it was at about 90. And now, you know, a post-stock split / stock dividend, that would have been about like $23, I think. Off top of the dome, right? 22. Yeah, like it would be like $22, $23. So we're way lower than that now. And that same week he bought shares, 2 other board members bought shares as well, right? So we'll see. We'll see. That's kind of all I have to say right now. Definitely going to stream again soon. More videos coming soon. I really appreciate all of you so much. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. I know I keep saying it. It's what I always go back to. But like, without like you guys being here, like there's no me doing this. There's no us discussing. No me talking about GameStop. You sharing your thoughts with me. Be like, hey Noah, check out this, or Tetron. Check. My name is Noah, by the way. You guys can call me that. Noah, Tetron, either one works for me. But yeah, you could say, you know, check out this, or what do you think about this? And it really just gets my brain going. And then after this, I'll think of some random things. I'll write them down, and then I'll research into them, you know? I'm telling you, the pen and paper, man, it's the way to go. It's definitely the way to go. But really, thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to come back stronger next time. It's going to be an even better stream. I'm going to have the background music going again. I'm going to be more organized. I'm going to have more good points to show you guys. But thank you for joining me on this journey and just sticking with me. And I hope you have a great night. Thank you so much.